Imagine a scenario where two world powers come into conflict, France against Russia, a war of gigantic proportions that could change the fate of the world. But in the end, would France have a real chance of defeating Russia in a war? Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, tensions between France and Russia have increased considerably. French President Emmanuel Macron initially tried to mediate the conflict, making several visits to Moscow and Kiev in the hope of negotiating a peaceful resolution. However, his efforts were largely unsuccessful, resulting in a firmer stance against Vladimir Putin's actions. More recently, Macron has made strong statements, not ruling out the possibility of sending French troops to support Ukraine if the situation on the battlefield deteriorates further. This represents a significant escalation in war rhetoric, signalling a more direct commitment by France to confront Russian aggression. Furthermore, French influence in Africa suffered a considerable blow with a military coup in Niger in 2023, a country previously under strong French influence. The coup, widely seen as supported by Russia, resulted in the expulsion of French troops and increased Russian presence in the region. This event not only weakened France's position in Africa, but also highlighted the growing global rivalry between Paris and Moscow. Russia is an extremely influential country on the international geopolitical scene, especially when it comes to military power. But considering a possible war scenario between these two powers, could France face or even defeat Russia? For this, we will make a brief comparison of the main factors involved in a war between the two countries. The economy of a country plays a crucial role in its ability to sustain a prolonged war effort. France, with a GDP of approximately $3 trillion, has one of the largest economies in Europe, based on a diversified industry that includes automobiles, aeronautics, luxury goods, and of course, defense. On the other hand, the Russian economy, with a GDP of about $1.5 trillion, is highly dependent on the export of natural resources such as oil and gas, which makes it vulnerable to economic sanctions. In terms of population, France has about 65 million inhabitants, while Russia, with approximately 144 million people, has a larger population base for military recruitment and logistical support. This economic and demographic analysis gives us a glimpse of the war-sustaining capabilities of both countries, but it is just the tip of the iceberg. For a more complete understanding, it is crucial to explore how these nations structure and utilize their armed forces in times of conflict. Looking more closely at the armed forces of France and Russia, we see significant differences in terms of size and structure. France, with its 300,000 active troops, is known for its rigorous training and operational efficiency. Its elite units, such as the French Foreign Legion, have a formidable reputation in combat. Additionally, France has approximately 35,000 reservists, ready to be quickly mobilized if needed. On the other hand, Russia has a substantially larger active military force with about 1 million soldiers. This force includes several well-trained divisions with extensive experience in recent conflicts, especially in Syria and Ukraine. Russian reservists, numbering about 2 million, represent a massive mobilization capacity, allowing Russia to sustain long-term military operations. The disparity in the number of soldiers and reservists highlights a significant quantitative advantage for Russia. However, battlefield effectiveness does not depend solely on numbers, but also on the quality of training, leadership, and logistics. France, with its well-trained and technologically advanced forces, can compensate for its smaller troop numbers through superior execution of warfare tactics. When we talk about military equipment, France stands out with its Leclerc tank, one of the most advanced in the world, equipped with a 120mm cannon and active defense systems. The versatile and lethal Tiger helicopters are capable of performing attack and reconnaissance missions. The Rafale fighters, with their stealth technology and multi-role combat capability, are one of the pillars of the French Air Force. Additionally, France has the SAMP-T air defense system capable of intercepting ballistic missiles and enemy aircraft. Russia, on the other hand, is known for its T-14 Armata tanks, equipped with reactive armor and a 125mm cannon. The Mi-28 helicopters, known as Night Hunter, are used in night operations and difficult terrains. The Su-57 fighters, with stealth capabilities and super maneuverability, represent the cutting edge of Russian air technology. The S-400 air defense system, widely considered one of the most effective in the world, can engage a wide range of aerial targets, from aircraft to cruise and ballistic missiles. In terms of nuclear weapons, France has about 290 nuclear warheads, with a deterrence doctrine based on the ability to carry out devastating retaliations. Its M51 intercontinental ballistic missiles, launched from submarines, are a crucial part of this strategy. The French Air Force also maintains bombers capable of launching nuclear weapons, ensuring a second strike capability. Russia, with approximately 6,000 nuclear warheads, maintains the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. Its nuclear doctrine includes the use of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, and strategic bombers. The RS-28 Sarmat system, a state-of-the-art ICBM, is capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads and engaging targets at great distances. Additionally, Russia has developed tactical nuclear weapons designed to be used on the battlefield for local strategic gains. The deterrent power of nuclear weapons in both countries is a fundamental factor that makes a total war between them unlikely. However, the presence of these weapons implies that any conventional conflict could quickly escalate to a nuclear exchange, resulting in catastrophic consequences for both sides and the world as a whole. Military alliances play a crucial role in determining a country's strength and capacity in a conflict. Both France and Russia have networks of alliances that significantly influence their strategic power. France is a founding member of NATO, a military alliance composed of 32 countries from North America and Europe. NATO is based on the principle of collective defense, where an attack against one member is considered an attack against all. This means that in the event of conflict, France can count on the military and logistical support of powers such as the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, and Canada. In addition to NATO, France also has bilateral alliances and strategic partnerships with various countries around the world. In the European Union, France works closely with Germany and other European nations on defense and security issues. Globally, France maintains defense partnerships with countries in Africa, Asia, and South America, expanding its reach and influence. Although Russia is not part of a military alliance equivalent to NATO, it has several strategic partnerships and regional alliances that reinforce its military position. The Collective Security Treaty Organization (CSTO), which includes countries such as Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, is a military alliance led by Russia focused on collective defense and military cooperation among member states. In addition to the CSTO, Russia has important strategic partnerships with China and Iran. Military cooperation with China includes joint exercises and military technology development. With Iran, Russia shares geopolitical interests in the Middle East, often collaborating in regional conflicts such as Syria. Military alliances significantly expand the defensive and offensive capabilities of both countries. For France, NATO represents a force multiplier, providing access to resources and support from some of the world's most powerful armies. For Russia, its regional alliances and strategic partnerships with influential countries such as China expand its ability to project power and influence global dynamics. However, it is valid to say that theoretically, NATO would have the responsibility to defend France in a conflict against Russia if the first aggression came directly from Vladimir Putin, since NATO is a defense alliance and not an offensive one. Therefore, if the first aggression came from Emmanuel Macron and Russia defended itself from the attack, NATO would not have the duty to declare war on Russia unless that was really NATO's interest. Likewise, CSTO member countries would not have the duty to declare war on France if it was only defending itself from a first Russian aggression. This case is even more special when we talk about China because Xi Jinping, the current president of the country, is too concerned with issues related to the re-annexation of Taiwan, and it would be extremely detrimental for China to enter a war now, especially a war of such large proportions against another superpower. Analysing all the crucial aspects, from the economy and population to military structure and strategic alliances, it is clear that both France and Russia have unique strengths and vulnerabilities. France, with its robust economy and highly trained and technologically advanced armed forces, has the capability to implement effective tactics and sustain prolonged operations. Its alliances through NATO provide significant military support, increasing its ability to defend and respond quickly in conflict situations. However, France's reliance on partnerships and alliances could be a weakness if these relationships are tested or compromised during a prolonged conflict. On the other hand, Russia has a significant advantage in numbers, both in terms of population and active and reserve troops. Its recent experience in conflicts and its vast arsenal of military equipment, including nuclear weapons, give it an impressive capacity for mobilization and sustaining long-term operations. However, the ongoing war against Ukraine is already significantly consuming its economic and military resources, which could limit its ability to sustain an additional conflict with France. The Russian economy, heavily dependent on natural resources and vulnerable to sanctions, could suffer major impacts in a prolonged war. Additionally, while its alliances with countries like China and Iran offer strategic support, the absence of a military alliance equivalent to NATO could limit its ability to obtain immediate and cohesive international support. Ultimately, a direct confrontation between France and Russia would have devastating consequences for both countries and possibly for the world, given the threat of nuclear escalation. What did you think of this scenario of confrontation between France and Russia? Do you think France has a real chance, or is the advantage all Russia's? Leave your opinion in the comments. We really want to know what you think about this. And don't forget, if you have any specific themes or topics you'd like to see, let us know in the comments. Your participation is super important to us. If you found the video informative, give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the What is Happening channel. See you in the next video.